Well, good evening, everybody.
Hi, and happy Al Ferguson birthday day. Al's birthday,
You know,
he farts out.
Faye says that, and all of y'all might think that that is a really nice thing, but she's setting the read up, she's setting the shade up, and she does it by going, "Oh, it's great," and then, "Oh, you watch what's happening."
Comes in for the kill.
Watch. I know
Exactly. At the table.
I think you are.
I think I am.
Yeah, I think you are.
I probably am.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, is that why you have them on the show, so you don't look so old?
Child.
Got it now.
Hey, I moisturize.
See?
That's why we're farther away, so there's less contact.
Got it now.
Wow.
The show hasn't even
61.
started. All right, here we go. It's on, bitches. Well, good evening, South Florida and America, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. It's 9 p.m. Wednesday, July 14th. Yes, it's my birthday, and it's also non-binary. And let's start by meeting tonight's host. Oh wait, there's nobody of note. So
Hey.
Oh,
It's
I guess.
start with me.
All right. All right. First, let's welcome FayWHAT. She's a radio and television personality and has the popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and an MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Faye's Fur Family. I got caught by your mugging, by the way, and is the anchor of the travel news show Happening Out Travel. And also, by the way, she has her own new show Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. and so clever a title called The FayWHAT Show. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening. Thank you, Al, for helping me name my show. That was a tough one, right? Ooh, it was almost called the Al Ferguson.
Now
show.
we're talking. Now we're talking. Next. Oh, it's me.
Wow! Listen, okay, let's stop right there. So everybody knows that, okay? Al's looking at me like it's my turn to introduce another anchor. Like we were on Queer News Tonight, which we're not. That was an hour ago.
Oh.
His mind is going. The age is starting to set in, viewers.
It gets worse.
All right.
His
All right.
Are you finished?
Candle is flickering.
Are you finished?
That was
Done.
fabulous.
All right.
Thank
It's up
you.
to you. All you know.
I
Let's
did
talk
blank
about
out
me.
there. Right. Let's talk about
You know
you.
where you're at, real quick?
Next.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Happy birthday
I'm gonna
to
get you
me.
one of those things that goes around your neck, so you
Wait.
press it just in case. If
Little,
you fall,
little tear,
Falls
little
in the
tear
quick
goes
out.
down my cheek. Little
And
tear.
a little violin.
All right, next, let's welcome Glen Weinzimer. I'm never going to live that down. Glen is the founder of the Smart Ride, the second largest AIDS bicycle ride in the country, and the only one of its size to give back 100% of the funds raised to AIDS service organizations. He also owns Bona Italian Restaurant, love it, where they celebrate Give Back Mondays, where a portion of all sales go to a different charity every week. Welcome, Glen.
Thank you, Al, for having me back. It's great. You know, it was my birthday week from yesterday.
Yeah.
Or from today.
He doesn't
A week
care.
ago.
He doesn't care.
Whatever.
But it's, I'm just
Whatever.
saying, it was,
Whatever.
it was
was
great.
Hey,
People treated me nice.
Yeah.
Just saying. They
Just
for
saying,
dinner.
there's true. All right, I'll treat you nice. We keep saying that you're the second largest AIDS bike ride in the country,
Not
but
this year.
that's not this year, is it? That's
This
right.
year we're the first because California is the #1 bike ride in the country. It's the largest with 3,000 people, but sadly they're not doing it this year because COVID interfered with their dates. And so we will be the largest and only HIV/AIDS ride in the country to give back 100% this November 19th and 20th.
Absolutely. Everybody participate. Well, next up, let's welcome Gregg Shapiro. He is a renowned LGBTQ plus author of 7 books, most recently Sunshine State, which he's given me an autographed copy tonight, which I wasn't on screen, but it doesn't matter. And his Sunshine State is his Florida-centric poetry chapbook that observes and writes about his adopted state of Florida with wisdom, passion, and quiet humor, and a sharp eye, by the way, for detail. He is also an entertainment journalist whose interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ+ mainstream publications and websites. Good evening, Gregg.
Good evening, Al. Happy birthday.
And that's all you got him was his book?
Thank
Really?
you.
All right, Greg. Cool. You won't be back next week either. It's going to be
I'm a
an
good
interesting
writer.
show next week. Josie, get back here.
I'm a
Foolish
poor
thing.
writer. What can I say?
Right. Next up, let's welcome Gordon Woodworth III. They identify as a pagan and is genderqueer, non-binary Gen Zer. They are currently a data entry and triage specialist at the nonprofit organization Broward House, a not-for-profit social services organization with nearly 30 years of providing services for our LGBTQ community impacted by HIV and other chronic health challenges. They are now also running an alt-space VR channel called Pagans in Virtual Reality. Good evening, Gordon.
Thank you, Al, and to all my fellow NBs out there. Happy Non-Binary Persons Day.
Absolutely. And did you know it was my birthday? I'm not sure you heard.
I don't think even
So,
said anything.
good evening, South Florida and America. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ plus talk show in the world. 50,000 of you watched us last week in YouTube alone.
We don't screw it up tonight.
Well, yes, I think I've already done that, by the way. So it at least proves that we're in live text. So much to talk about next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, you're watching a live and unedited LGBTQ plus talk show, so anything can happen. It already has, actually. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the bell for updates. If you're on Facebook, like and share this show. Let's begin with a unique meme of the week. And this week, it's called When You See That Bottom from Last Week. Okay, let's look, because I haven't seen it. When you see that bottom, but you can't remember his name. Oh, that's what you call him. How many times have you done that, Glenn?
More times than you care to count.
But
But less than you.
Oh, my
Shady,
goodness.
shady.
Shady read. All right.
It's your birthday.
Does that meme resonate to you at all, Faye, or no?
Oh my God, no. I mean,
Really? You're the power top.
No, like totally it does. But I call everybody sweetie, so I don't give a crap about like their names and stuff. Like
Oh.
everybody is sweetie. Ay, que linda and cutie and those
Okay.
breasts,
Okay.
whatever.
So you embrace the meme by replacing whole with sweetie. Is that what
Yeah.
you've just said? Okay, I got
Yeah.
it. It's Happening Out, of course, as you know, is part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and We Meg Events. Hotspots is celebrating 35 years of the LGBTQ plus experience. We're all merged now, and we bring you the best of LGBTQ news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community. Okay, after the way I started this damn show on my birthday, who needs a drink?
Drink.
I
Yes.
owe you.
Drink.
We're
All right.
ready.
Let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. We invite you to play right along with us at home as we ask our host 4 questions. If they agree to the question, they take the shot. And we have the shots in front of us, and believe me, it's basically gasoline. If they
You have a low
disagree, right, it's a very low budget show. If we disagree, well, it's going to be a long night for everybody, especially me. All right, everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Let's play then I'd Swallow That. The new Netflix show, Sex Life, shows a married couple trying to spice up their love life. When the wife talks about her ex-boyfriend, her husband goes to see what all the fuss is about. TikTok is going crazy over the scene. Let us show you as the new boyfriend goes into the gym bathroom to see the ex-boyfriend. Watch this. Sound.
We're not going to show dong.
There it is.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, so I swallow that. Question number one. Now, don't drink. Let me ask you to pause a moment. Question one. It's Happening Out's reaction to TikTok's Sex Life Challenge. Do you love it? And actually, what we're going to do is we thought it'd be interesting to play it right here, right now. So you can't see it at home, but we are showing, David Hopkins is showing the video. We're having a little trouble seeing it. It's got to come a little closer.
There you go.
There's
Okay.
in the gym.
I watched
The
it
one
4 times
closest
this
is
afternoon.
the boyfriend.
Okay.
Current boyfriend. The
Okay.
one that's got his back to us is
Nothing
the
to sneeze at.
ex-boyfriend.
Okay. No ass.
And he
And
turns
there
around.
it
and-
is.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Makes me want to have a hot dog.
That's
Foot
soft.
long.
See, that's soft.
So,
Imagine
again,
when it's, yeah.
all right, now let's play. Question one. It's Happening Out's reaction to TikTok's Sex Life Challenge. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
you love
I
it?
thought the question was going to be like, would you allow that anywhere near you?
I think this is worthy of 2.
Of course I would. No, you know what? This is just like Game of Thrones. Remember when everybody
How
was-
in heaven's names is this how Game
Because,
of Thrones?
well, let me finish, girl.
Okay, it's your
Everybody
day.
was going crazy over the soft dicks that they kept showing in Game of Thrones. Remember, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
South Park had a whole episode about it where they were singing "Wiener, Wiener, Wiener." We never get to see a good hard
Right.
dick on TV. Where's that?
That's not going to ever happen.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Pornhub.
The fact,
Yeah.
and the fact that they showed what they showed is
And if they showed a lot of, we wouldn't need to see hard porn.
Yeah,
They would-
I'm curious, when you see that and it being soft, that likely is all there is, by the way. Is that exciting? Is it really the most exciting, or erect more exciting? I'm curious.
Erect is more exciting.
Yeah.
But it was pretty exciting just like that. I mean,
Yeah.
geez, come on.
And
I mean, it was,
You knew
it
it
was
was
a big old.
you knew what was coming, so to speak. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
just-
You'd know when that's coming.
It wasn't coming.
Okay.
That's my.
We'll leave that.
Was
All right.
All right, that soundbite
was-
we'll leave on the table. Let's move on. After rising cases of illness and death from alkyl nitrate, I got it, use, the FDA has issued a warning to stop buying them. Question number two. Question number two.
That's 2.
I've only had one shot so far. It's my
Well, how old are you?
birthday, and
How
I
old are
can
you?
cry if I want to. Question number 2. I agree with the FDA. We should stop buying poppers. I'm going to take the shot.
We should stop buying poppers.
Sure, I can.
But if
say
somebody
that.
has them,
Right.
Somebody gives them
Well, if
to
you-
you.
I
you
stop
can
buying
buy
from
them.
someone
If you
else. Yeah.
phrase
should
it that
stop
way, I'll
buying
take
them.
it.
Now, so you don't think you should stop buying poppers even with the FDA's recommendation of the medical consequences? That's what you're
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. If you're an adult and you can make adult decisions and you can read the warning,
Oh, that's an interesting thing.
and
Yes.
and you've done it,
I hadn't
and
thought about it that way.
What are those poppers made for? They're not made
relaxation so that you can enjoy the pleasure of the gentleman we saw earlier.
yeah.
It
long.
ups your
And
heart
that's how
rate.
it's sold. And that's how it's sold
Yeah.
at those sex
No.
stores.
Wait, I'm
sold-
curious. Let's pursue that. I'm a news guy, so let's pursue this. Glenn, so you like poppers to be able to have the ability to relax. Is that what you just told us?
Ah, now
That-
I get
that-
it.
yeah.
That's what it's for.
That's exactly what I said. So that, because I am a type A personality and sometimes I need a little help to take the edge off.
Oh, type A equals bottom. Got it.
So,
got it.
hey.
I want to make sure. I
Not
have
all the
that
time, but
written.
the blue pills don't always work, so sometimes you have to get ready to go for the other side.
I'm learning
can't-
so much from Glenn Weinzimer
A
tonight.
lot.
All right.
So you can't go to the store and say I want poppers
No.
because it's
Illegal.
technically illegal.
And they'll say they don't
So
have
The
it's
brand
a,
name.
it's a loophole. You're going to get nail polish remover,
Yes.
or you can say
Or
the-
head cleaner.
the brand name.
Yeah.
So where I'm at
Or
on this
that's-
is pretty much where you're at, in that I think if you're an adult, you should be able to decide. But I do think it's the FDA's job to give us factual
right
information,
Absolutely,
yeah.
and that's fine. But we don't need it to be regulated, because how else am I going to?
Yeah, and,
Oh,
well,
get
and,
it,
and,
okay.
and,
Because
and
then
to
I'll
that
never see
question,
that
Gordon.
store.
Wait, have you met me? No. Gordon, do you use poppers?
I do.
You
Yeah,
do,
I do.
and for the reason that Glenn said, it
Oh,
makes
yes.
the experience.
Yes.
more
And they've been around forever, though,
Yeah.
right? And they've never been
Forever.
regulated, and now
No.
they're saying that there's some issues with it. I
Yeah.
mean, they've always sent people to the hospital. Things have always
it's a
happened,
chemical.
right?
You're
It's a
putting
chemical.
a chemical.
back
in
in
your
the
body.
in the early 80s, the beginning of the AIDS crisis, that was one of the things they thought was causing it.
Yeah.
Really?
They thought that there was something because it was, I don't know, weakening your immune system or something.
The first
So when you were using it, did it cause those issues? for you?
Actually, it was popular on the dance floor.
yes.
That
So-
was a good place
That
to
was the
hit
first
People do it
Relax.
that way
on the
too.
dance
Yeah.
floor.
Yes, exactly.
Just saying.
I'm a
Dallas.
good news guy, and I could continue to pursue questions of Greg, but I'll stop. Let's move on. Thank you. This past weekend, over 1,000 gay guys with bird floats invaded Fort Lauderdale Beach in a charity event that is uniquely South Florida. Question number 3. South Florida's Flockfest Beach Party means our LGBTQ world is coming back. Flock, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like? You were at Flockfest.
I was there, volunteered.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's
Is that
the
what we're
reason.
calling it these days? Volunteer?
That's what
Yeah?
I called it.
Were you
didn't know.
relaxed?
He was providing services.
Not as relaxed as I would hope I would be at the end,
Just
but
wondering.
I enjoyed the visuals.
Yes. And
So, and is it coming as it does between the Wilton Manor's Pride fiasco and then upcoming other festivals? It was kind of like an official welcome to
yes,
this, right?
welcome back to the world. We are
Right.
showing, by the way, I draw attention to our director, Steve Smith. He did drone footage. Those are VIP tents.
That's a lot of people.
750 VIP tickets.
And the weather was so perfect for a pasty person like me. It was
Yes,
overcast the
yes.
whole time.
Oh wait, Gordon, you were there too.
Yeah, he was relaxed too.
You
Yeah.
relaxed too.
I was actually.
Look at this
the VIP.
picture. Wait, we're showing you this drone picture of going up. See all of the flamingo and the floats?
Shouldn't they be in the
there
water?
was there was a 20-foot unicorn, winged unicorn float at this event. Some people decorated their tents. I hear, by the way, let me just put it out there right now. It's either July 8th or July 9th, 2022. The date got set Monday. For Flockfest 2022.
Already?
It was such a mammoth success.
Congratulations to all the guys at Flockfest. You guys did an incredible job, and all the volunteers and everyone who came out. I'm like, wow, how incredible. It was just, I mean, and all the pictures you see, all the different sizes and colors represented. There were 750 people in VIP. There were 4 women in the whole entire thing.
Four?
4 women that were allowed in.
Wait,
Four
how the
is
hell did
generous.
4 women sneak in?
We always
to
find a
Flockfest?
way. We always.
I was at check-in.
You were
It's probably my
check-in?
fault.
And one
4 is
trans woman.
generous.
And one trans woman.
And they all look so relaxed.
Yes.
Did.
I was the sole non-binary person. There was not a lot of nice butts, though. I will
Yes,
give you
there
that.
was.
Lots.
You know,
Lot of
and
nice
Faye hits it right on the head. One of the things, this is the first time I've ever been to Flockfest. I said this at Queer News Tonight, Monday night. We reported it as a news story in terms of what happened. Remember, this supports about 20 LGBTQ nonprofits. I mean, outstanding support. But one of the things that I thought was outstanding is it was not a circuit party, because every color, size, shape, personality, designation, whatever category you want to identify in, was represented there.
And hopefully, as it gets more, because we had a lot of people in from out of town as the first tourist thing that they did. I was surprised by the number of people. Hopefully, it doesn't become a circuit party the more it gets people in, as opposed to locals that just relocated from Sebastian Beach onto this area, all for a good cause. At
Yeah.
$100 a person.
Yeah.
You know, they raised what, $70,000, $80,000 just from that
Yes,
event. So.
exactly right. It's wonderful. All right, well, let's move on. Today is my birthday.
I haven't mentioned that.
I haven't mentioned
No
it.
way, is it?
Now, this next part is written, I'm reading from a teleprompter, South Florida. So this next part is written by all of my friends here at It's Happening Out. So I'm sure this is going to be beautiful. Today is my birthday. Some say I'm old. Some say I'm very, very, very old. Some say it's not the year of the car, but the mileage on the tires. Oh, wait, these are my friends writing all of this. Question number 4. Birthdays are important to mark time. What do you
Oh, wow, Al. Who is that on the screen? Is that you like 50 years ago?
Wait, I didn't see that.
I hope the day will bring you something. Penis.
Birthdays are important to mark time because Al was there when time was invented.
Look at Al. Look at Al in
To
that
my
yellow shirt.
friends in production, thank you very much. That is
sweet.
very kind of you. I appreciate that. I'm watching this live. I did not know that. That was
See,
Thank
to
you.
me, this is like the Queen's Jubilee.
Oh
Like,
my
you know how
God.
You're
Yeah.
on fire.
Oh,
So old, so they don't count every year. They just do a Jubilee. So it's like the bronze Jubilee,
Centennial.
the silver Jubilee, the gold Jubilee. This is like the platinum Jubilee.
You know, I won't miss him if he's gone.
yeah, I was going to say.
I think we're so close in age that hurts.
Yes, I was going to say his joke falls right on you and falls right on you.
Don't try to make this about them.
I'm deflecting. Wait, to your point, it's interesting. Somebody pointed this out to me today. I did not know how old I was until this morning because I said,
Couldn't
wait,
remember.
this is a big birthday because I'm celebrating a new decade. And somebody pointed out, Al, you're not paying attention. And they made the joke in a very kind way. You're celebrating your 60th birthday again.
Oh, last year was
Actually,
60?
It was last year.
We're at the same
Oh
age.
my God, I ordered
I'm
90
61
candles
today.
for our
Oh,
cake.
Are you
Oh,
61?
shit.
Last Wednesday, I turned 61.
So the only thing I heard here is you are older than me.
Yes,
That's
by,
the only
by
thing.
7 days. But what I did different than you is on Tuesday night, the night before I turned 61, I celebrated my 60th, and I did not have to celebrate my 60th.
Oh, yeah.
Because I never got to celebrate 60 because of the pandemic.
Silence. It's all about me. And it's just funny. I really mean this. One thing going into this, my shock was I got my date wrong because I hadn't even paid attention to my date. And the reason I hadn't paid attention to my date is because I don't feel the age I am. And with all of the things that I've done in my life, and I proudly say I've done some things, all of that is in the past and I don't care about that anymore. And now my next 20 years is going to be all brand new and super exciting, and I'm going to light
30
the world.
You're so
Could be
funny. You
30
really
years.
think that you're going to live to 110. He's so funny. Oh my goodness.
You know, tomorrow we're going to go pick out the box.
Be pink and shiny with a picture of RuPaul on it.
Glen Weinzimer has just wished me death. I just want to make sure
I just said we'd be prepared by picking out the box now.
he has just
Plan
wished me
ahead.
death.
It's
All
fine,
right.
Al. We all love you, and
Yeah.
we'll be there at the
You're
funeral.
25. 25.
Oh,
We'll all be there.
I
at
have
your
grudges
funeral.
older than you.
Grudges.
We'll be all at your funeral taking shots in your honor. Just know when that time comes, we'll all send you out in a good way.
You know, I
You're
don't want to
already
get.
dressed in black, so you're halfway there.
I was gonna say I don't want to get too maudlin, but I hope this moment is played at that moment because I'm telling you, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy.
Happy.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Next up, let's consider, and I'm going to probably have some difficulty through the rest of the show because I've done all 4 of these shots.
I'll give you,
Oh, come
I'll give you
on.
one more.
One more?
do it.
All
You
right,
don't
it's
have
my
your
birthday.
sea legs by now?
Well, because no. All right, well, I won't tell you that. All right, next up, let's consider the best thing of the week. And that is Virgin isn't just flying you to other countries anymore. Now Virgin Galactic is flying you into near space for a view of the entire world, the curvature. When Virgin founder Richard Branson, by the way, he's 70. He's older than me.
He
He's
doesn't look
even
it.
older than you. Oh, yes, he does. Yes,
You
he
get
does.
up really close.
Yes.
Money
Was
makes you look younger.
Money makes you look so sexy. I'm sorry. He's like Brad
When
Pitt.
Virgin founder Richard Branson was asked to honor Pulse, he agreed immediately. This week's best thing of the week. Richard Branson took LGBTQ pride flag with him to the edge of space. We're showing you a bit of the video of that. He was asked to memorialize the pride event and the LGBTQ community, and along with some pictures of his family, That's what he took. What do y'all think?
I love that he took the flag up there to commemorate Pulse. I think that that's wonderful. But in that same breath, I'm also like, wow, he spent all those millions of dollars on that when
Thank
Cuba is going through what they're
Right.
going through. Like, it's like,
Thank you.
wow.
People he could have fed. It's just
How many homeless LGBTQ
ridiculous.
youth
I know it's
could
his
have
money.
helped?
I know
Does
it's his
he-
money.
But wait,
Yeah.
has he put any money toward any?
Well, I was just going to
Does
ask the
anybody
question.
know?
He has a ton of money. He may be also doing good for the world at the same time. He doesn't seem to be one who just keeps it all. I think he is pretty philanthropic. And by doing what he did, he even kept the flag on when he went to make his speeches afterwards. That flag never came off in all the photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like this is obviously reflective of the fact that class privilege is prevalent no matter what your intersection is. And I have my notes here, and the first note I have here says, "This reminds me that the proletariat class should seize the means of production from the bourgeoisie."
I love Gordon.
Gordon.
I love
Wow.
Gordon Woodworth.
Older than
the
Revolution.
reason is, right, he's an old spirit.
He is
Can
totally-
someone tell me what the hell he just said?
Right,
Please?
no, I can't.
No?
Can't
Okay.
translate fast enough. You know what's very funny about what you're saying, Gordon, is Richard Branson is sitting there likely, and I really mean this. Richard Branson is going, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't have to justify anything I do. It's my money, and whatever I want to spend my money on is my money. He's worth approximately $19 billion. So if he wants to spend his money on this, more power to him. He has been gigantically philanthropic. And he also points out, because this question that you point out has been asked 1,000 times, and his point of answer is, I'm creating an entirely new industry on this planet, which is tourism to space. And as a result, I've employed 800 engineers to make this happen. And I'm going to employ tens of thousands of people to make this industry happen. And I'm going to employ hundreds of thousands of employees of all of the competitors that I've developed in these industries. So as a result, I'm breaking new ground for everyone. That's a pretty good argument.
yes. Gay flight attendants.
You have anything written
perhaps?
down to respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have $19 billion.
okay.
No person should have that
All
amount
right,
of money.
all right, all right.
But I do
At least he's
appreciate
spreading
his
it a
philanthropy.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's important.
And hopefully when he dies, he gives it all away and doesn't give it to a relative.
You know, it's interesting. Next week, Jeff Bezos is going in. Branson has slapped Bezos in the mouth. And Bezos' first response was, well, I'm going higher. I'm going into orbit farther. And he retracted those statements very quickly because Branson was so magnanimous to him in saying what I was doing. I hope Bezos this coming week embraces the LGBTQ community in the same way that Branson did. A little challenge. We'll be watching closely, and we'll report it next week at Queer News Tonight if you
Am I
do
the
that.
only one that wants the rocket to explode with Jeff Bezos on it?
No!
Gordon.
No. And that's why
saying.
we love Gen Zers, because we need that revolutionary spirit.
But the
We
thing is, when
do.
you have a pissing contest like that in outer space, where does it go? Like, does the
But how are these guys any different than like J.P. Morgan and Vanderbilt?
And it's interesting, Gordon, don't we need a Henry Ford to push forward? Don't we need
Sure,
a
but the
JP
difference
Morgan?
is people like Carnegie, for example, when he died, he gave all of his money back to the public.
Branson's not dead yet.
Right.
You can't
You're already
assume he's
killing
not
him.
going to do that.
We'll see.
All
We'll
right.
The
see.
guy from Microsoft, I mean, he's leaving all of his money to.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
but these guys, with Jeff Bezos, could solve world hunger with the stroke of a pen. But what does he want to do? He wants to go to space.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
screw that guy.
All right. We hear you loud and clear. All right, next, let's move on to a segment we call What's on Your Mind. And Gordon doesn't get to speak because he's already done that. Each host is going to tell us in just 30 seconds, wait, where's my bell?
Happy birthday. I got rid of your bell.
We forgot our bell. All right. What is important to them this week? But remember, in just 30 seconds, or you're going to hear this bell. Do you understand?
I don't. I hate that bell. Why do we have to have that bell? Why is that bell just really irritates me?
It
bell
gives
would be
me
good.
life
Why
to
don't you
see
talk every
your
time you're ready to
response.
turn it to me?
I know, exactly. All right. So let's start with FayWHAT. What's on your mind this week?
What is always on my mind? Women. Women are on my mind. Why are women so crazy? I don't understand. Like, if women have to be psycho, can they just do it maybe like 3 hours of the day instead of 24 hours of the day? So I, ran into an ex, and she's a little loopy, and she's a little psycho, and she's asking me things that she shouldn't ask, blatantly disrespecting the fact that I have a wedding ring on, right? So why psycho? Why after all these years? Haven't you really turned a different leaf and maybe like decided to not be psycho anymore? I did. Look how nice and perfect and content and feliz I am. I am like the most stable person on this show. You can do the same too.
Sure.
Lose my number.
Whatever you need to tell yourself. Stable, yeah.
There we go. I've got so much to say, but you're going to have to tune in to Untucked after this show to find out what I have to say about that. All right. Glen Weinzimer, what's on your mind?
Well, there was a lot of things on my mind until Facebook, and you just need to calm down. Because I don't know what just happened, but that was not the sign of someone who just got it together. Wow. So,
But she's pretty though.
So today at lunch, we're back to me. So today at lunch, I sat at the bar at a deli place, and the bartender smiled, and I smiled, and he's a lot younger than me, and he gave me his phone number, and I'm hoping he calls.
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
Was
How
it
old
your
was he?
misconnection ad?
Wait, how old was he?
He's probably like 30.
Was he blind?
Oh.
No, he was wearing glasses, but he was not blind.
Yeah. You know what's wonderful about that is
You're hateful. You need to. I told you before. You need to let that go.
she is hateful.
It's Al's birthday!
See the wedding ring again. See, look, you've got this. What do you have to be hateful for?
Right.
For the record, Faye, I would call him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Glen, this is Gordon. Gordon, have you met
That
Glen?
is-
Love
I've got one of these
connection.
too, though.
You know what? They always have a safety net.
Wait, your husband is sitting in the audience going, "Oh, go. It's all right.
His
Go
boyfriend's saying,
ahead."
Three-way, three-way.
Oh,
He does like the older man.
yeah. Oh, all right. And Gregg Shapiro, what's on your mind this week?
Just a little piece of advice. X's make great speed bumps. The other thing is that
Good ornaments.
so I'm a transplant to Florida. I love Florida. I had a whole discussion last night at dinner with someone who recently moved to Florida and doesn't like it, to Fort Lauderdale, doesn't like it. I think I won that wrestling match. But anyway, I love Florida, but I just want Florida to stop embarrassing me. I want Governor DeSantis to just go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. We sent 4 governors to prison. So let's send DeSantis to prison.
Greg, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but at CPAC over the weekend in Orlando, DeSantis was number 2, only
I
behind
can't.
Donald Trump to be
gonna run.
I
president
just
in
can't.
He's gonna run, for
2024.
sure.
I hope he runs and he splits the
Yeah.
vote and someone else gets ahead.
All right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We're probably going to talk about it 10,000 times at Queer News tonight. And Gordon Woodworth III, I just can't wait. What's on your mind this week?
So there's 2 things on my mind. One is the fact that just this month, there's been hundreds of bodies found in Catholic churches in Saskatchewan of Indigenous children. And the more they're investigating, the more they're finding. And nobody's talking about this in the mainstream media. I just see it in Indigenous news sources for the most part. And I wonder why that is. Why aren't we talking about this? This is a big deal. And when they start investigating them in the United States, I would wager they're going to find the same thing. The second thing is we keep talking about the infrastructure bill, but nobody is talking about the fact that it's going to add a whole bunch of toll roads to states all over the country. And living here in South Florida where there's already too many toll roads, I don't want any more of that. I want roads to be publicly owned and funded. Period.
All right. All right. And normally I don't do this, but what's on my mind? Next week, I will have been married 34 years. Most people don't know that. Al and Chuck is a real thing. I am married to Chuck. We don't live together. We are happier not living
how you
together.
stay married so long.
I will never divorce Chuck. Chuck will never divorce Al. And we're very happy in our relationship, and we talk every single day. And today on my birthday, and with our anniversary next week, I say happy anniversary to Chuck. Next of the
We're not gonna
world.
say anything about
He's
that.
got
Like
a
you've gotten so
He doesn't
soft. You've
need
gotten
you.
so soft like a teddy bear at your old age. Look at you. You're gonna come in with no pants next week. Like it's like you don't care anymore. You're just gonna like
doesn't
let it all out. I love you,
justify it.
Chuck. Always and forever. Love Al. Wow.
This is a big deal.
He doesn't have to.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I don't, and it works. Every kind of relationship can work. Next up, let's catch up with the news of entertainment. Bowen Yang, what a good day he had. From SNL and Joel Kim Booster. By the way, he got nominated for an Emmy today for Saturday Night Live. Our Gay Boy represents. They are set to start filming their modern day gay film adaptation. Now, you normally don't hear this. The gay film adaptation of Jane Austen's classic novel, Pride and Prejudice. Variety reported that Fire Island, again, normally you don't hear Pride and Prejudice and Fire Island connected, will follow the adventures of these two best friends, Yang and Booster, who are on vacation at a gay hotspot, which is located off the shore of Long Island. With the help of cheap rosé, they say, and a cadre of eclectic friends, we discuss tonight's headline. Gay Pride and Prejudice. The film is set on Fire Island and is coming soon. What do y'all think about, by the way, Ryan Murphy is involved in this.
Well, they had Pride and Prejudice and zombies, so why shouldn't they have Pride and
That's
Prejudice
right.
and gay
I
on
saw
Fire
that.
Island?
You
Yeah,
did
why not?
Right?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I want to know if the flirting is going to be like a Jane Austen novel or if it's going to be more reflective of the gay community. But I love this because, first of all, this is what we do with classic stories. This is an homage to Jane Austen. And I love to bring up the fact that this is a queering. And if you don't know what a queering is,
You have taught us.
I know. I'd love to bring it up though, because historically we haven't been represented in stories. So we look for ourselves in stories even when we're not there.
Yeah.
That's what a queering is.
Yeah.
Think of, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Wizard of Oz. Not a gay story, but it is a gay story.
Very gay.
For example. And now we're doing it out in the open, and that's so exciting. And I really, really do, on top of all this, really hope that it pisses off some right-wingers.
Oh,
Well,
of course.
You know it's going to, of course.
Absolutely.
And how about the Asian representation? I love that.
Really.
Like,
And
how
they're both
fabulous is
hot.
that? And
Yeah.
they're both adorable.
Yeah.
You know, as I mentioned, Bowen Yang is nominated for an Emmy today for Saturday Night Live. And I don't know if you watched the last episode of the season of Saturday Night Live, but they did the homage salute to Gay Pride Month with all the LGBTQ cast members of Saturday Night Live, led by Bowen Yang. It was an amazing, amazing, hilarious representation. I'm sure this is going to be great. His star is meteoric. Yes, thank you. Meteoric. Even production is trying to help me.
Thank the writer.
Right, exactly. But it is it's a big issue because he is representing the LGBTQ community, of course, his Asian descent, in unique ways, and we really congratulate him. Jane Austen and Fire Island. Wow. Well, that's our discussion on entertainment. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network helps support our LGBTQ plus community. An example is here at Sunshine Cathedral. This is the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set in supporting that partnership. The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live. We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
My name is Cici Glitzer, and I am the German sensation in Miami. Don't forget, if the world is bitter, put on some glitzer. And Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
When do you see that in church?
I love CC.
Love that. Finally, we thank It's Happening Out's hotel sponsor, Best Western I-95 Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our host and guests stay at this LGBTQ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when you're visiting South Florida. Well, up next, if we were standing around the LGBTQ water cooler, this is what we would all be talking about. We refer to it as our hot topic of the week. Glenn, we're going to talk about porn.
I know, I'm ready.
Yeah. Are you ready? All right.
I'm
You
ready.
prepared?
He's relaxed.
You
He
came
just did
prepared.
he just did a
guys just-
popper.
oh,
He
he's
just did a popper. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, XTube, a prominent pornographic streaming platform, is shutting down.
Broke my heart.
Glenn is crying right now, as its parent company faces mounting accusations that it facilitated sex trafficking on its subsidiary sites, MindGeek. XTube's parent company. It said it believed its users would be better served on one of its other platforms, such as men.com or Pornhub. So our hot topic of the week, XTube, LGBTQ plus adult site closures, are the latest of trending on gay porn and content consumption. What is happening in gay porn for the LGBTQ community? What do you think?
OnlyFans. Everybody's on OnlyFans now. There's a plethora of places that you can go to now and get your porn. Pornhub is still around, right? I mean, so XTube closing, is it really a big deal?
But that's the problem. This market is becoming a monopoly. It's purely because of puritanical, hegemonic beliefs
Get a new
about
translator.
sex. Yeah, and it's true. It's the truth because this is supposed to be a capitalist society or whatever, but we don't treat this industry like any other industry in our society. We treat it as very separate, and it's because of stigma towards sex and sex work. And the people that are working in this industry are dealing with an industry that's increasingly becoming a monopoly, and they're getting screwed out of wages and all sorts of things. And we're not talking about it because it's the sex industry. Why?
Well, there's the question. Why? Why do we care about, I understand why we care about porn, but why do we care about our platforms presenting porn? Why evangelical backlash? Why church backlash? Why the shaming of people that are doing OnlyFans? OnlyFans is a joke. OnlyFans is super powerful, but we make jokes about it. Why are we doing that? Why are we shaming our sexuality?
We don't respect sex work as real work, and that's what we need to reassert: is that sex work is real work.
Wait, let me try to pinpoint this in a more precise way. Glenn is not involved in sex work, but he loves
Porn.
Who does?
Oh, sex.
I mean, pick on Glen Day, so sure. And I like to fast forward to the best parts.
Exactly.
Hey, when it says 20 minutes, I do not have time.
No, you don't have time. You
not
just can't be
watching
bothered.
Story, no.
You can't be bothered with that.
Or that they
No.
came in from a third
Wait,
row.
I don't care that you're you're a FedEx delivery guy.
Amazon now.
Truck, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but seriously, why are we shaming this industry and our sex lives and our sexuality?
You mentioned the religious factor and how that comes in, and if you're coming to a very liberal place like Sunshine Cathedral, who knows what your upbringing was like? Who knows what you're coming from? So there's that baggage that comes along with it in terms of sex shame and that stuff, and so yes, it's all part of it. It's all connected.
It's all connected.
On the other hand, this is just part of the evolution of stuff. There's going to be something else that'll come along in the way that OnlyFans came along, and then something else will come along, and OnlyFans will be,
Forgotten, like
Exactly.
MySpace.
Right. It'll be yes. Right.
Or you'll be shamed for still using AOL.
But
I still use.
I do.
You've got
I
mail.
still use
I still
AOL.
have
You use
I have
AOL.
it, I don't use it.
I use it.
I use
What
it
do
as
you
my-
use?
proudly.
No, but I went to Gmail out of pressure.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right.
But also because it said mail, so that's one of the reasons.
Oh,
But Gmail.
He spelled it wrong.
Gmail.
M-A-L-E.
But you know what? I still get mail.
Oh my goodness, you're so gay, Glenn.
Wow.
So, do we think that this is going to be a continuing trend?
Yes.
Do we worry about Pornhub, for example?
They ain't
It's the
paying my
number
bills.
one
I mean-
platform in the world. Well, you clearly are not looking at porn because every gay man is on
No,
Pornhub.
I was going
at
to say
least.
that everybody watches porn. Now, do they admit that they do? That's a whole other story. And I mean everyone, okay? Women, Amish people, whoever it is, they're watching porn, you know?
But that's
Think
the
it gets a
problem
signal.
that I'm trying to point out is that, I love Pornhub too. You can go on my phone. There's a bunch of tabs open on Pornhub right now. I don't give a shit. I watch porn.
Where's your phone?
I don't. It's over there.
While he drives.
'Cause I don't.
I'll be right
watching
back.
porn.
I don't
want to see
believe
who your
in-
stars are.
I mean, to be straight up, I'm a druid. I don't believe in these weird ideas about sex. Sex is normal, and we all have it. We all do it. There's nothing wrong with it, as long as everybody is in agreement with what's going on here, right? But what's happening here is that Pornhub, in particular, is becoming the monopoly on porn. And what's happening is people who work in the sex industry, they're either on OnlyFans, if they're not, like dancers or sex workers on the street, they're on OnlyFans. And even that is a very difficult place for sex workers to be because they're limited on what they can do and how much money they can cash out in increments and whatnot because of things like this, because of our culture's view towards sex, when really they're just trying to make a living. That's their job. And we're not talking about the fact that this market, this whole industry, is relatively unregulated. The only thing that is really regulated is who's allowed to be in it, how old you have to be, and copyrights.
Again, I love how our Gen Zers in our LGBTQ community are tilting against the windmills as Don Quixote over and over and over again. That does not mean I disagree with the observation you just made. It likely will come as a shock to all of you that I have many, many, many friends that are porn stars.
No, you?
I know, it's incredible. This week, I've had dinner with him twice in Sawmill, at Sawmill. I've watched his private show with Rocco Steele,
Yeah.
who's arguably in our age group the most popular porn star in the world. This week, he friend requested me in social media. Now, I've known him from years.
No, that's not a date.
And wait, don't shatter my dream.
He's a top, first of all.
Yes, a very.
Happy birthday, you got my present.
It doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way. But what's interesting is in all the years that I've known him, he finally friend requests me, not from a standpoint of work or business, but just from a social interaction. I accepted Rocco's friend request, but I feel empathy for him because he's an attorney. A lot of people do not realize one of the most famous porn stars in the world is an attorney. He's professional. He's very smart, but he likes this business, and it's a business. That's all it is. I don't understand why so many in our community and outside our community make it more than it's just a business and we enjoy it, and so therefore that's that.
But I don't think it's going away, which is what was your question. I mean, if you go back to remember when we used to have to take the chisel and chip into the rocks to make our
Child.
That's how you
No, I'm
did
just
the
talking
Playboys
about-
back
The
then.
world's
even back then,
oldest
if you-
profession.
Right, the world's oldest profession. I mean, you see it on the walls in caves and stuff like that I've seen in museums, where they clearly show the porn. They show it in old paintings, and so it's not going away. It may
Grecian
change.
urns.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's rooted
Grecian
in our
urns.
history.
Yeah.
Ask Wyoming what they think about sex work. Wyoming
No,
wouldn't be a
ask
state.
certain people in power in Wyoming, not necessarily all of Wyoming.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
but
big difference.
Wyoming was built on sex work. Women performing sex work for coal miners or gold miners.
It was called entertainment.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's why they were.
He
the
was
first.
just dancing.
No, really, that's why they were the first to allow women to vote. Is because most of the people who had money in the state at the time were women who were performing sex
Yeah,
work.
yeah. I've been to Ketchikan. Ketchikan in Alaska was built specifically for that reason. Miners were coming up
cold
to
up
Alaska,
there.
and it's cold.
It's cold.
Exactly. Glenn, you and I have so much simpatico. All right, let's move on. Let's explore
We're so different.
Let's
Oh yeah,
explore
completely.
the LGBT LGBTQ plus. I can't tell if I'm being read. Can you translate for
I
me?
can't even tell if I'm reading it.
Right. Let's
Because you're both are senile, that's
Is
why.
it because you can't see the fine print? It's too small?
Dementia
Oh,
setting into both of you.
wait, South Florida. I've been reading this teleprompter almost flawlessly through the entire show. So let's explore the LGBTQ plus world this week with silly and important headlines in the LGBTQ news. Faye, are you preparing? This is a lightning round. Let's discuss them in our segment called Saved by the Bell. But there's a Faye twist. We are only going to discuss each headline for only 1 minute, and we have to implement this rule because of A, FayWHAT, and B, Gordon Woodworth the third. At the end of 1 minute, you are going to hear,
Ouch.
and that means you got to stop immediately, and we're going to move on. Everybody understand our rules? Faye,
Yeah,
Gordon?
yeah, stupid
All right,
Bill.
here we go.
We'll try not to bully
if you consume all the oxygen in the room, all the oxygen
Ding.
is gone, and Glenn will die.
Again.
Wow.
Just
All
read
right.
the teleprompter.
Right, just the teleprompter. Here we go. Little Nas X. He is taking the entertainment world by storm with his unapologetic discussions of gay topics and issues. Saved by the Bell headline number 1. Little Nas X represents what every little gay black boy power bottom, as he calls himself, needs as he celebrates our hot boy summer. What do y'all think about Little Nas and what's going on?
I love him. He could do no wrong right now. I'm sorry. He's just perfection right now. His representation and everything he does, everything that comes out his mouth, I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely, and he takes no one's BS at all. And on top of all that, he's like, I don't need your gender norms at all. And even though he's, a cis gay guy, my non-binary heart just sings because I'm like, yes, take those gender norms and throw them in the trash where they belong.
And also probably because you would, well,
Well, the thing is, he also has, I'm hoping that he will maintain this level and his integrity, and he won't go off the rails at some point. It's always scary when someone is new and they're getting this much attention, and he's so young. I hope that.
old is
Don't Britney Spears him. He's gonna be
No, I'm just
fine.
hoping that
Like
he's
21.
got good people
21
around
or
him.
22 years old, he's going to go off the rails. We watch Gordon do that every single time. So it's going to happen. We encourage him to do it because as he pushes, the people of Cuba are turning. Are you happy?
I'm so happy. I think my nipples are
There you
hard.
go. You've never done that before. Honey, it's happened. Your nipples are hard. Ew.
Can we see them through your dress?
Right. All right. The people of Cuba are turning against the communist government as food and medical resources dwindle away to nothing. Saved by the Bell. Headline number 2. LGBTQ Cubans face hunger, lack of health care, and now historic protest in the streets. What do y'all think is going on in Cuba?
I'm hoping it's the turn for better, that this is actually the one time where they go to the streets and they actually make change.
Do you think they will, wait, just quick follow-up. Do you think this is going to lead to that?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that that it's equally spread amongst all the people as far as suffering, including the military, that they're all going to say we've had enough. That's what I'm hoping, because they have no resources, they have no food, they have no money. I mean, there's no tourism.
Well, and that's the thing, Glenn. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, and that is
Yeah.
what super scares me
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
time.
No,
You know,
I'm not
this is just
disagreeing with
this
you.
is just what's going on
But is
right
this
now.
any
You know?
different?
I think it's going to be a downward till we get, and they're so close to bottom right now. I just see it like this is the moment where it has to change.
Is this any different than Venezuela, though?
Oh, it's
Yes.
dramatically
And
different.
I
than
want to
Venezuela
know.
has food.
I want to
They
know
have food.
from all of you. I mean, because I kind of know where I'm at, but you've been to Cuba, Alan.
Many
You know
times.
more than probably all of us.
He is like the Cuban
I mean,
ambassador
at
for
this
the gay
point-
penis.
At this point, to me, it's like we have
say
to
that
think
like
about
it's not true.
we have to think about what America's reaction is going to be and what our administration, especially the executive, is going to do. So, do you guys support removing sanctions, or do you think we should keep them in place? Because we're not going to have boots on the ground. That's not
Well,
going to happen.
for sure, the bottom line is if we continue the Trump era, which is what Biden is currently doing, we haven't changed anything. If we continue the Trump era, especially tourism issues, literally people in Cuba are going to starve.
But don't you think
Literally.
that those sanctions are part of what precipitated what's happening with the protests?
Yeah.
Do you think
So
that
if we
Fidel was
remove it, then they'll go back to being in power.
It's
again.
interesting the Castros are not involved in
No, that's what I was going to say. Do you think if Fidel was still in power or the Castros were, this would be a completely different conversation? He'd probably say, hey, fill a boat, go, leave.
Right.
Right, there wouldn't, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
he was also in his 80s. I mean, like,
Yeah.
both of them were so old.
They didn't have the energy.
Yeah, they were like you guys.
But we have to let the
Almost.
Cuban people sort it out.
Yes,
My
thank
goodness,
you.
My goodness. All right, well, out with the old
Let's go.
and in with the new. As the LGBTQ plus community begins to focus on our most marginalized members, people are calling for changes. Saved by the Bell, headline number 3. West Hollywood will remove rainbow crosswalk and will replace it with the progressive colors. What do you think is going on in West Hollywood?
Come on, we're evolving. This is what we do. The progressive flag, it's all about inclusivity. Yes, change it now.
It's $85,000 when the city is losing $10 million this year. I think that the original flag was intended for inclusivity, and I've got nothing against the new flag. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But to rip out the old one before it's worn out, like what's the? It says.
That's a lot of
I
money.
believe it says inclusivity, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not deliberately delineating any other group.
It's not disrespecting
It's
anyone
not
else.
disrespecting anybody. It just happens to be there when the time is right. Then change it up.
Yes,
Make
when-
this like a major story when there's so much else going on. And
Right.
it's not Santa Monica. It's in.
I mean,
Are you
hope,
supportive
we hope.
of the progressive flag?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm supportive of the progressive flag.
So it's not the addition of the progressive flag, it's the money
The
that's
money.
being
The
spent
funds
money.
used
And is it
for it.
really
Okay.
that big a deal right now? I mean, there's
Yeah.
still representation of the LGBTQ plus community with the old flag. It was only recently that we got an artist that came up with a new flag. And actually the second version of it, which is the one they're showing, is much better than the first one because we got rid of all the extra stripes. We kept the original stripes and then added on the side, on the angle, that addition, and it got less crazy confusing. So I love the new flag.
yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I think it's a good change to have the progressive flag. I haven't heard that argument about the finances. I think you have a good point there.
Knew that would speak to you.
But I don't think, I do see it as if it hadn't been for money, it is a good symbolic change because I think part of the reason we have the progressive flag in the first place is that we have to acknowledge the people who've always been there and have always been a foundational part of our culture. And, I've said it a million times on this show, Black culture is foundational to gay culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we pretend that
trans.
it isn't
Well,
for a long
Yeah.
time.
And you run the progressive flag up a flagpole nearby, and then that at least will be a temporary thing until it's time to change it.
That's what they always tell us.
All right. Well, in the past 40 years, the U.S. has gone from over 200 lesbian bars. Oh, we can just skip over this.
No,
story
why?
completely.
Why are we skipping over the lesbian story? We never do lesbian stories. We got one lesbian story all month. Let's talk about this place. Come on.
That's right.
Okay.
I think
in the
Sisterhood is
past
powerful.
40 years, the U.S. has gone from over 200 lesbian bars to just a couple of dozen. One of the most iconic is in New York City, and that has had to have fundraisers to keep their doors open. Saved by the Bell, headline number 4, iconic lesbian bar Cubbyhole. I've been in that bar, by the way, is fighting for survival. Are we watching an endangered species?
Maybe we are. Maybe lesbian bars won't exist in 10 years, and that's sad. Maybe that we're more welcomed in gay bars than ever before, so now we just go and hang out with the boys. I mean, I know that that's always been an awesome, other direction that I've always been able to go. Maybe there are places. Maybe there are
Hey,
women.
I want to interrupt you
Please.
on that observation. I know you. You and I are really good friends. You can walk into the Leather Bar in Wilton
And I have
Manors
the Eagle
and dominate the room. Can other girls, other lesbians do that?
That's a tough question I mean, I do think that I have a privilege because of the way I look,
And you're standing next to me.
and I'm next to the white guy, so I'm always allowed everywhere, But
It's hot.
I do think that that women that maybe are more masculine, maybe they don't feel as comfortable in the gay boy bars, and that's something that I've never felt myself, but I've heard that from other lesbians,
But isn't-
and I've heard that from gay boys too, that they don't want lesbians in their bars, that look a certain way.
Who said that? They need to get the hell out of the bar.
Well, and the women's community has also always had other spaces. There are no gay male coffee houses, but there were have traditionally been lesbian coffee houses and women's spaces, women's music festivals.
Yeah, like the Home Depot.
Generational.
It's economics. Because if the lesbian community is not supporting their own bars, then that's the way it goes. And maybe they're just finding other ways to join each
Well,
other.
and that's the thing. Like women, we do when we get together and we plan trips and we'll go to gay days and we'll go to vacations. We will spend our money on big trips like that, not going out every Saturday and Sunday to Wilton Manors like most boys
But
do.
what do we do? What
also
does
go.
the rest of the community do to support the lesbian community?
Come to the lesbian bars. Come hang out with us. When we were at the Eagle, and we're going to be there again August 1st with Josie spinning. Al went with me to the last time. August 1st, I'll be there again. Come and support us. Hang
And
out
you
with the
know what's
lesbians.
funny?
And there was 200 lesbians there.
I've 250, and I've said this. When I went to the Eagle, I congratulated the owners of the Eagle, the Leather Bar, for hosting that traditional Sunday tea dance at the Eagle for the girls. I was uncomfortable. Al was uncomfortable walking in the room with that many girls because I thought, wait, they're going to reject me. And not only did they not, they didn't reject me, they accepted
Embraced
me.
you.
And embraced me. And it was like, wow, this is really, really nice in our community.
So if other gay men would also try that out, they would see the same thing, that we would embrace them too, and we would be a nice jointed community.
Yes,
We'll be there
exactly.
August 1st.
And would please the lesbians stop speaking now. All right. 4 cis white lesbians and 1 cis white man ran one of the oldest pride groups in the country after repeated complaints that they were not inclusive of people of color or trans members of their community. They simply decided to call it quits, close the entire pride organization. Saved by the Bell, headline number 5, Boston Pride abruptly shuts down because community wants and needs a change. Could this be a sea change moment for all of LGBTQ America? What do y'all think?
For all those pride organizations that have boards that are completely white and, they have no diversity, they have no trans, or they don't have any black and brown people on their board, look out, because this could also happen to you. They decided to not support BLM. 80% of their volunteers said, F you, and they quit. Okay?
I'm
And that was an
curious.
appropriate reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gordon, I promise I'm not minimizing your voice because I clearly understand yours. But older, more privileged white, Gregg and Glen. Yes, I did know it was Glen. Do you think that this is a kind of a warning bell that LGBTQ America should be changing?
We're hating on each other again, instead of embracing and trying to work out a solution. Them throwing up their hands and walking away from it without, and again, I don't know enough, but without going out and trying to fix it, it appears to me from reading what I read today, is that they just walked away.
The head of the board turned in her resignation.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
but
agree.
the other question is,
So there's some
are
more
they a
shady stuff
nonprofit
there.
or are they a for-profit? That also makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And the question is, who owns Pride?
Well,
An
that's
individual
right.
doesn't own Pride.
Exactly.
And this doesn't surprise me that this happened in Boston, which is it's a political, but a progressively political place. There were disruptions in DC also with their Pride Festival. The Dyke March in Chicago had a huge controversy a couple of years ago. So I can't imagine it happening in any of the festivals down here, because I don't think there's that same kind of even punk aesthetic down here
Wait,
that there's
try
in.
to quantify that for us. Not the same kind of what?
I just don't think that there's that same political energy down here. I went to college in Boston, so I'm speaking as a former Bostonian. Went to grad school in DC. Those are political places. I just
We're
don't.
lazy here.
No, they're not lazy. It's just a different. I think it's a different mindset here. I really do. I think it's paradise here. So people come here for fun and to get away. And I don't think we're going to see that same thing here.
I disagree with you 100%. Only because I've been down here 30 years.
Okay.
And the amount of infighting, and we have two gay men's choruses. We have 2 prides a year. I mean, we can't seem to bring our groups together to just agree on stuff.
We're fighting over the progressive flag
Exactly.
and the Baker flag. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, and again, I think it also comes down to what was the end game and who owns it. If it's a nonprofit, they have a lot more commitment. If they're a for-profit, it's about money and bringing in people that are going to bring the money, as opposed to bringing someone in because it works well, and it covers a
And it represents.
But I think Al hit it
exactly.
on the head when he was asking about the generational difference, because that's clearly what's going on here, is there's a difference in view generationally. Because when I read this story, the first thought that came to my mind was, well, this is just like when segregation laws were repealed and public pools had to integrate. What do? They just closed the pool. That's what half of the white people did. They just threw their hands up and said, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to close everything down.
Doesn't
Don't
it?
touch the bell.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, a bit more time then. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you, but I also think that if you read the article, the other groups are coming together to create a new pride.
The
So it
trans-
isn't like
the trans group.
is,
Right.
but there was a couple of them in the article talking about them coming together. So I do believe that these other groups are going to replace the same date with another event that's going to be Pride, just not run by the same people.
Well, they already had
And
it.
hopefully
Good.
be-
12th, and
Yeah.
it was
it's a
attended by
trans.
many, many people.
Exactly. So I think that you're going to get the inclusivity. I think it's just going to develop. I don't think the elimination of the one
So-
group running it is the end of
You
it.
know,
Certain people
I-
have to get out of the way.
I have to stop, but this is a super interesting story that we're going to continue to watch and follow, because I think this is an evolutionary story that is not ended yet. Interesting. The Biden administration has been fighting to help protect the LGBTQ plus community, especially transgender students. This has the right wing and politicians up in arms. Saved by the Bell headline number 6. 21 Republican attorneys general send a letter to the Biden administration attacking his pro-LGBTQ policies. What do y'all think
These
about
guys had
these
nothing else to do?
21?
Exactly.
They had nothing else to do. They
No,
didn't have anything else
Like
to
there's
do.
nothing else going on. So
They
that's-
have no policy. They have nothing. This is all identity
It's about
politics.
divisiveness. It's about
Yes.
creating everyone
Exactly.
polarizing stuff.
And you know what? Everybody on the left is very scared about Republicans taking things to court because of the Supreme Court or whatever. But they've already shown that they're willing
Twice.
to side with us because of the letter of the law. So
I'm curious if your observation on the table is correct. Do you think that the Republicans, these attorney generals, evangelicals, can make this a winning argument for them in 22 and 24? Do you think they can win with it?
no.
It's the never-ending culture wars. It's
Yeah.
just-
Can they win with
they're
it?
They
playing
will
These
win
culture-
their
games
base.
again.
They will win their base.
Yeah. But the broader question is, okay, but they're going to win their base, but can that win the overall election?
Did Joe Biden win the people that weren't their base in the last election? You think?
I think that they lost. I think that's what happened in Georgia. The 2 senators that were elected, the cultural war that they did against black people, first and foremost, people of color, they lost. And they lost the 2 Senate seats because of it.
So do you think that with the more broader acceptance of the LGBTQ community, that this will play out similarly?
You know, it's interesting, your question, because, and I've got to move on, but we're doing translation every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. If you're interested in the trans community, you should tune in. One of the things that we're finding out is the first question is not yours. It's a good second question. The first question is, does the L and the G and the B and the Q support the T in our icon? And if they don't, no, we won't win the argument, because trans is under full attack.
Yep.
Full attack. The first question is, are we, everyone sitting at this table, you're non-binary, so you're in the T, but everybody at this table, are we going to stand up for the T in our acronym? If we don't, no, we won't win. That's what's going to happen. Section 340B is a drug reimbursed program meant to help healthcare providers offer services uninsured and for at-risk communities. Watch this.
$500 in income, which the clinic must use towards its expenses. Here is a small clinic in Ohio that participates in the 340B program, and 2 of their patients, Bob and Tina. Now let's say a 1-month supply of a diabetes drug costs the clinic $1,000 from a drug maker. Tina has private insurance, which pays the clinic $1,100 for her medication. Now, Clinic A has $100 in income, but with 340B, the clinic can buy that same drug from the same drug maker at a special lower price of $600. With 340B, the clinic still gets paid the $1,100 by Tina's insurance, but the sale now generates $500 in income, which the clinic must use towards its expenses. Now, along comes Bob, another patient at the clinic. Bob doesn't have insurance, but he needs medication too. Fortunately for Bob, the clinic now has that $500 in 340B savings to help pay for his treatment, and that $500 hasn't cost taxpayers anything. Without 340B savings, many clinics and organizations would have to find new money to stay open, most likely from taxpayer dollars. Either that or the clinic might be forced to send away patients like Bob, and those patients go untreated. Or worst of all, the clinic could close down altogether.
Big issue. Saved by the Bell headline number 7. HIV prevention clinics brace for shutdowns as Gilead reimbursement cuts are coming. What do y'all think?
Wow, and Gilead is like the big name. They're the ones that like
Yes.
really have handed out a lot of money to a lot of organizations that we know and love down here, like Ariana Center, Unity Coalition. Like, wow.
Yeah, so I work for one of those centers, and I'm HIV positive and take those drugs. So there's a few things that I think when I see the story. One, Gilead has too much power in the industry as it is. That's the problem. This is a very unregulated part of our economy. And the little infomercial there saying the drug costs $1,000 is generous because it really costs $3,000 for most of those drugs. And that's the problem. This is what happens when you have an unregulated medical industry that's not single payer. The government isn't able to force them to lower the drug prices, and that's why this is happening in the first place. It shouldn't cost this much. It doesn't cost that much to synthesize the drug.
Right. Glenn, you're a fundraiser for one of the
Actually,
biggest.
4 of our agencies get 340B money.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole, you can go back and there's a lot more issues here. The fact that my insurance company, because I'm also HIV positive and I get the same drugs, but my insurance company pays for it. Should my insurance company be paying that much money for the drug to begin with because people can't afford health insurance? It's so outrageous for all whether it's cancer, whether it be HIV and AIDS, the cost is outrageous, and you can go to other countries and get it so much cheaper. And they'll supplement it in like Gilead and GSK and all the others. They'll cut the price in other countries, but they don't cut it here. So, they've been putting this money in to pay for Gilead puts the money into what is it, 340B?
340B.
Right. It's all the pharmaceutical companies are putting part of that money into there to fund it. It's just the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. It's a much bigger problem about getting drugs out to people that really need it, and you've got generics now on the
I'm
market.
curious, just in quick one-sentence fashion, can you see any possibility in the next 2 years, for example, of the Biden administration, of any hope of untangling this problem?
No,
No.
because they do not want to do single payer. They want to do a public-private system, and until we have something that can conclusively regulate the prices of these drugs, none of that's going to change.
So the conclusion to our Saved by the Bell story is they've been after Obamacare for a decade, and the Republicans are still winning. That's what we've concluded
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
All right. I'm sorry. Got to move on. Finally, tonight we are the LGBTQ community. So that means what?
Sex!
Yeah, the lesbian.
Poppers.
Sorry.
The sex.
Sorry. Poppers, sex and poppers.
And by the way, production just blew out one of their speakers over there.
That's how I feel with the stupid bell.
All
So
right.
enjoy.
So that means sex and relationships. Let's play another game. Our game asks, who would you do? Glenn, I'm going to ask you very specifically. And what would you do? Gordon, I'm going to ask you very specifically. Oh, wait, I already know. And we're going to talk about 3 different interesting people. Tonight, our game, of course, is called Shag, Marry, Chop. And play right along with us. Since today is Non-Binary Peoples Day, our theme for this week is They, Them, Rock. Non-binary musicians. So this week we are going to play with Dorian Electra, Arca, and Lawrence Rothman, all non-binary musicians. And you can see from this monitor over here also in front if you would like to do that. And Faye, we get the lesbian out of the way because we care the least.
Oh, because you don't care about me.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I have to shag Lawrence Rothman. There's something about their suit and just how they move that I think the shagging will be extra, extra yummy. And I'm marrying Dorian Electra because that stage presence is everything. And we could just be the power couple on stage. Yes! And Arca, I'm sorry, someone had to be chopped, my friend. So yeah, and I think of Arca, I think of Orca, and then I think of a whale, and then I think of sex with a whale, so then it's like weird.
Oh, that makes no sense at all.
It doesn't to me, in my mind. Ring the bell.
All right. There we go. And Gregg, who would you shag?
I'm going to shag Arca. I love Arca's creativity, the crazy costumes. That's nothing compared to what you usually see Arca doing. So I'm going to shag Arca. I'm going to marry Lawrence Rothman. I'm not sure why. And I'm not even sure why, but I'm going to chop Dorian. But I'm really interested in shagging.
So you're unclear and unclear
Absolutely
and
gonna
unclear. Okay, that's all completely clear. And Gordon, who are you shagging? Non-binary to non-binary.
I'm so excited about this because
And by the way, your husband's sitting in the audience.
that's fine.
Taking notes.
They don't care. No, first of all, non-binary people are sexy, and that's why I'm excited about this. But I'm a huge Dorian Electra fan, so obviously I'm going to marry Dorian because
No,
that's
this
where
is
it's
called
at.
Shag, Marry, Chop.
first.
Begin with
Oh,
Shag.
sorry. I'm going to shag Arca because look at them.
Yeah, he's not too thin for you?
I like them all.
Yeah.
Pretty is pretty. Hello.
Yeah.
Look at my.
Ooh.
Hello. Pretty is pretty.
I'm going to shag Arca. I'm going to marry Dorian because, of course, they're my favorite. I listen to all their music all the time.
right.
And by default, I'm going to chop Lawrence.
But for no reason, just he's the last.
Right.
Okay. And Glenn, who are you shagging?
I'm going to shag Arca because, I mean, just look at him. That's just hot. I'm going to marry Lawrence only because he's got a nice Jewish last name and it'll make my mother happy.
Oh my God.
And then
That is so sad.
it's true. And then,
It's sad that
I mean,
both
he's not
of
a
you-
doctor, but he'll do.
He's
Not
not a
he,
doctor.
Them will do. Sorry.
Them, right?
Don't get mad.
was gonna
And
say.
then, yeah. And then
Pronouns count.
I know it does. And I'm going to chop Dorian just for no reason.
No reason.
Wrong.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. Before we end the show tonight, we introduce you to our sponsor, Jet's Pizza. Are you coming to South Florida? And you have to, if you are, you've got to try the pizza of choice in the LGBTQ community, with the possible exception of another restaurant I won't drive. Jet's Pizza is delicious. Cauliflower pizza. I, for the last 2 weeks, have tried to get a piece of this pizza, but some lesbian woman has taken all of it.
I lick the box
Yeah.
when I come in, so he can't have
And
it.
I'm not kidding.
Are you saying
Exactly.
you want a piece of that?
Yeah, well, yeah. All right, well, we're getting ready for all of us to enjoy it here at It's Happening Out. Well, that's it, South Florida and America. Another week with you and the world's first and most popular LGBTQ live talk show in the world. Before we sign off, let's hear from our host for one final good night. And we'll begin with our good night from FayWHAT.
FayWHAT? So guys, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's FayWHAT on YouTube, and my new show is the FayWHAT Show, and it's Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. If you missed yesterday's show, go online and check it out. It was a great conversation with the beautiful Miss Schaefer Shea, and it was just great. And next week, of course, catch me on Queer News Tonight on Monday and Wednesdays with White Privilege, Happy Birthday Dude with the huge penis, Al Ferguson. He paid me to say that, right? And on Wednesdays, we're here with It's Happening Out, and we also have our travel show, so we've got you covered at all bases. So thank you to It's Happening Out Network for giving us a place to sit around the table and be who we are every Wednesday. Thank you, and I will see you guys next week. Please still pray for the people in Surfside. Please have Cuba on your mind, and keep that energy up. Keep that vibration up. It's how we just are able to be together and unify.
Absolutely. And by the way, as it related to me, did you tell any lies? You did not, did you? Thank you.
Let's see your hands.
A good night from Glen Weinzimer.
Okay, if you're in South Florida on August 3rd, we're doing a fundraiser for the Smart Ride. It's at Lips. It's going to be a fantastic night from 7 till whenever it's over. We've got celebrity servers that'll be there that night. You know Avi Ram, and you know Josie, of course, and Josie will be one of our celebrity servers.
Who?
So,
Who?
that girl that usually sits here with the funky hat.
Oh, yeah,
Plays-
that one.
spins.
She's not a girl, she's a woman.
She's a woman.
Right.
Anyway, so August 3rd, Lips, if you're in South Florida, come out to do that. And if you're eating Jet's Pizza or even pizza from Boner Italian Restaurant, you really should be getting on your bicycle and training for the Smart Ride, which is November 19th and 20th, 2021. That's it.
2021, absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Thank
and
you, Al.
a good night from Gregg Shapiro.
It's always such a joy to be here. I have a great time. I'm learning so much, and I'm just so glad we had this time together.
Oh.
I knew that was coming.
Oh,
Wait, that's a
Carol.
1970s
Carol
reference to
Bruno.
Carol.
Harold, oh my God.
Over to do
Is
it.
your mom seeing that, or from beyond?
And a good night from our Gen Zer, Gordon Woodworth III. And I'm contractually required to insert the third.
Thank you, because Senior's been dead for a long time. But first, I want to say happy non-binary Person's Day to everyone out there. If you're watching and you're non-binary, take tonight, celebrate yourself. We're out here, we exist, and I'm so glad that I can be here to represent our community and just reassert to you that we are valid no matter how you choose to express your gender. Gender is a construct, it's fake. Do whatever you want and be happy. Also, check out my channel on AltSpace, Pagans in VR. If you're interested in this sort of thing, even if you're not a pagan, everybody is welcome. This Saturday we'll be having Pagan Chat. It's an open room for people to come and discuss different topics and share what you believe or don't believe. Everybody's welcome. Check us out, whether you have a VR headset or just a computer, you're welcome.
Excellent. Sounds fun. Well, South Florida, America, is what you watch tonight important to you? You sat right here at the LGBTQ kitchen table right along with us. We remind you, this is basically the only place that I'm aware of in the United States and really worldwide that is having conversations like this. We love RuPaul, but we don't talk about just RuPaul. We love our nightclubs and our bars, but we don't talk about just our nightclubs and our bars. It's Happening Out is designed for us to be able to talk about what's important to our community, which includes those issues, but also much, much more. And you heard many of those topics tonight. If that was important to you, we invite you back because we are here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and this is live. You, of course, heard me make mistake after mistake after mistake. It's what happens when you celebrate your 60th birthday
61.
again and again. So don't forget, Queer News Tonight is daily at 8 p.m. Hotspots Magazine on the stands every Thursday, and We Meg Events brings you some of the best events in South Florida, including Stonewall Pride. Remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night.
Good night.
Everybody.